Yes, it's tougher and tougher and tougher to do every year. The players globally have gotten so much better everywhere. The education materials to become a better player. The players of today are so much more intelligent as a mass. I'm talking about just smart-wise intelligent. Like when I grew up and came up in the poker world, we had guys like Puggy Pearson and Amarillo Slim and you know, guys that never graduated from high school, and there were pool players, you know, pool hustlers that just found poker games in the back of the pool hall. They saw they could make more money playing poker, so they turned to poker instead of pool. And now what you have is college graduates. We have lawyers. In fact, our WPT Player of the Year last year, Anthony Zeno, was a lawyer. And Vanessa Self is now a lawyer. Jared Jaffe's a lawyer. I mean, we've got a lot of lawyers that play out on tour now. So the intelligence level of the player today is much higher than it used to be. They're just smarter. They study harder. They live, breathe, eat, sleep poker 24 hours a day. And I'm not saying anybody can't do it, but the number one requirement, I think, for anybody to be a professional poker player is you have to absolutely love to play poker. Not like to play. I mean love to play. I don't care how good you are. If you don't love the game, you're going to have a miserable life, and I don't care how much money you make, because you'll be miserable playing. It won't be fun for you. I'd highly recommend you do something else.
I think that's well put, and I believe that you just have to pick the right competition. I had a home game for years. You can set up the game the way you want, wait for the fishes to fly and swim around you. You got to do that. That's the biggest edge you'll ever have. And the second biggest edge you'll ever have is controlling your emotions and not going on tilt.
Vince, you said that perfectly. That reminds me of a great story. A reporter was doing a story on Eric Drake one time. He used to be the tournament director of the World Series of Poker. And she asked Doyle Brunson, she said, Doyle, she said, I understand Eric Drake is a very good 7-card stud player. And Doyle said, he sure is. And the reporter said, well, just how good is he? And Doyle said to the reporter, he said, well, you know what? He said, he really might be the 7th best 7-card stud player in the world. And the reporter said, wow, really? I didn't know he was that good. And then Doyle said, yeah, but his problem is he plays with a top 6 every day. There's a lot to be said for that story.
So true. Let's see what else we got.
All right, what's the question?
Why does poker stop? And we got to refresh the page.
Okay, hang with us, folks. We're trying to get some more questions.
Could you guys answer this one? Do you guys have any pre-game routines?
Do we have any pre-game routine? No, unless Vince goes to the bar for a cocktail. That's about it, I guess. No, actually, that's not true. We actually come down several hours before the final table starts. We've gotten the bios of the players the night before. We study up on the players that are at the final table. We get on the computers. We look up their resumes, their history of what they've won in tournaments, et cetera, et cetera. So we do our homework before the final table as much as possible in the time allotted. And so to say we don't do anything now, we haven't prepared any lines, we don't know anything like that, we wing it once the show starts, but we do try to do the background on the players who are fortunate enough to have made the final table.
Basically just try to get focused, try to get my energy up, you know, and excitement up, and that's it. Maybe get a workout in the morning. We usually do these things at the final table around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and sometimes they go on all night, so you want to have good energy.
And our producer comes to us several hours before the show and says, here's what here's what Lynn is going to ask you, the questions about these players at the table. So I'll take 2 or 3 of them, and Vince will take 3. We write our own script and then do that without any cue cards or anything. So it's, you know, it's something we have to work on, you know, pretty hard actually, an hour or 2 before we go on air.
Have you guys ever had have you guys ever had any trust issues due to the knowledge that you're a professional poker player?
What do you mean by trust
That's
issues?
interesting. I think if people think you played poker, that you might be a little bit of a hustler, or something. If that's the question, I think that could be true. I think when they hear that you're having 2 games a week at your house or something like that, and if that's all you did, yeah, I think people might put their nose up to it and be a little snobby. But that's the way it goes. I mean,
realistically, you know, we know everyone's not saintly in the poker world, just like they're not saintly in the banking world. And if they run a bar, somebody's stealing money from the register. I mean, things happen all the time in every single profession. But as a whole, I think most poker guys are very honorable people that you can trust. I know in the high stakes world, people shove 20,000 and 40,000 back and forth across the table, loaning each other money. Nobody signs contracts, nobody shakes hands. But the trust factor among the high-stakes poker players in terms of loaning money to each other would be mind-boggling to the average guy.
Good luck tonight, Mr. Mofo.
Thank you.
Mr. Mofo is wishing you guys luck.
Thank you very much. And by the way, we're going to have a tournament, bounty tournament. We're going to do a bounty. It's coming right up. I think the entry's $500.
ClubWPT.com. No.
It's a $500 bounty prize or bounty tournament, and it's a $100 bounty prize for you and.
Okay, so we got $100 bounties on our head, Vince, but we're used to it. We go to the Bay 101. We've been shooting star bounties there before, so we're used to people trying to shoot us down. That's good.
That's the link they can sign up with.
Yeah, there's the link.
Okay, there's the link. If you care to join, we'll be happy to have you. You knock one of us out, you pick up $100. I didn't know we were worth that much.
Hope you join us. Thanks for the good questions.
Yeah, some great questions out there.
Yeah.
And
Hey, are there any more Reddit questions? Yeah.
okay, well, we appreciate you all joining us. Thank you very much. Hope to do this again sometime. A lot of fun.
They can watch. You'll be on Twitch too, playing.
Oh, you can watch us while we're playing online. So you can see how bad we actually really do play. Then you'll come join us in these big games, no doubt about it.
People are asking
Okay.
a couple questions on Twitch.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
What
Do you
are
want to
they?
answer a few?
Yeah, we can answer some more. Love it.
Is there a good chance we'll get legalized online poker here in California?
I do believe it's going to get legalized. The question was, do you think poker is going to become legalized, online poker in California? I think the answer is yes. I think the state needs the money too bad. It's going to happen at some point. When is the big question, but I just think millions of people want to play. Businesses want to pay taxes. The state needs money. For all those millions that don't want to play, don't play. But you're going to benefit from the roads, the fire departments, or education, or whatever they use the money for. So, I think it's a win-win for everybody, and obviously it's just a matter of time before it happens, in my opinion.
I think it is going to happen. By the way, it's kind of ironic. I think it's crazy that Final Draft can be legalized. Not Final Draft.
DraftKings.
Not DraftKings. Fantasy sports.
Fantasy sports can be legalized, and people are playing. Like it's just a skill sport. It's so wrong. It's blatant gambling, which is fine. I don't mind. But also, online gambling should be as well, I think.
There was a question earlier on Twitch, and it said, "Is it free to play the tournament on Club WP tonight?" And it is. So.
Yeah, the question was, is it free to play the tournament on Club WPT tonight, our bounty tournament? The answer is yes. That was just discovered. So check it out. Join us. Try to knock us off. Pick up a C-note.
Mr. Mofo won a premium watch on August 8th and needs to turn his luck around. He hasn't done anything since. Any advice for Mr. Mofo?
Well, advice for a player who hadn't been lucky since August 8th?
He won the premium watch, though.
Oh, you won a premium watch. Hey, quit complaining. Some people haven't won anything. We appreciate you trying, but when you're a winner, you got to dummy up a little, But anyway, no, we appreciate it. Maybe you're just going bad, but come back and try again.
Cagemaker says thanks for what you guys do in poker.
Vince and I can honestly say, we came into this poker gig as poker players. Not commentators that came from another sport over to poker like some of the other networks. We're actually poker players, been playing all our lives, and we still have a passion for the game. When we get to the final tables, we watch and have as much fun watching the final tables develop as all of you at home. So for us, it's still fun. We're in our 14th season now, and it's been a great ride, I must say.
Have you ever been berated winning a good hand catching the river?
Have you ever been berated winning a good hand catching on the river? The answer is yes. And it just brings a big smile to your face. No kind of beratement in the world can bother you when you're dragging chips, right, Mitch?
Well, I'll tell you something. I actually, it happens a lot. And you'd be surprised, it happens with other professional players, or so-called players, that want to show off. And they how dare, And it gets me so irritated. And my father taught me as a young kid when he wanted to play poker, he said, never, ever get mad at anybody at the poker table for any move they make. Be a professional. And I always abided by that. I will never mock them. I won't laugh, I won't snicker, because I'm trying to be a professional. You don't do that. That's against everything a good gambler should do. And so it really aggravates me. And I see a lot of players doing it today. They don't care. They like to make that needle, and that's wrong. I don't mind trash talking at the table, but if you don't do that after a man makes a bad call, you never break that call, ever.
Yeah, it's one of my pet peeves as well, and it's very irritating because I feel like it costs me money at the table when another player is berating an amateur, non-professional player, a guy who's just there to have fun. When he gets criticized for his play, two things happen. He either starts playing better, or he just gets up and quits, say, this is not fun for me, I don't need it, and he leaves the game. So it certainly costs other players at the table money, and it's just horrible when players berate others, especially these so-called pros. Very aggravating.
Chi-Town Beatrepin says, good luck. Stole my Twitter name.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We need plenty of luck. We're old guys.
Mr. Big Stack's friend says he's a bad poker player. And Mr. Big Stack disagrees, surprisingly. How can you prove him wrong?
What is that?
Just win.
Mr. Big Stack's friend says he's a bad poker player, but he disagrees.
You can't change a man's opinion on that. Just take the money when you can. Right?
Well, all I know is one thing. Back in the day, they were doing an interview for a magazine called Poker Player at that time, and they were trying to categorize the best players in every single game. And the reporter came to Doyle Brunson once, and so said, Doyle, who do you think the best poker players are? And Doyle's answer was very simple. He says, you judge a hunter by the number of furs they bring home. So the guys that have got all the money and have won all the money, they're the best players, period. That's what he believed.
All right, we'll do two more questions. Do you have a favorite player to watch as you commentate?
Well, do you have a favorite player to watch? We love, because we're poker players and we like to watch fun final tables, we love the action-oriented players as well. You know, it's no fun to sit there and watch all tight rocks at the final table. You know, guys that are making moves and they're playing back at each other with no hands and this kind of stuff. You know, those are the kind of players that are fun to watch. And we prefer that because it creates more action at the table. It's going to make for a better show. And obviously, we love the Gus Hansons and the Phil Ivies of the world, the action-oriented players. Give us more of them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, players that play fast. Can't stand these guys that take all the time in the world and then they make it full. Very boring. But I'll tell you, Will the Thrill Fiala, an exciting, great trash-talking player at the table without going over the line. Just brilliantly. I always like to watch him play. Daniel Negreanu, of course, everyone's favorite. He's terrific as well. So many great players to watch.
All right, last one. What is your favorite charity or foundation to help out play poker?
Well, we're very proud of the WPT Foundation. It does a lot of charities now. We work with the Tiger Woods Foundation and do a big event for him in Vegas. We're doing an event coming up in Palo Casino on September 11th, 12th, and 13th. There for the Special Olympics here in Southern California. So those are good things. My personal preference for my favorite charity happens to be the Paralyzed Veterans of America, but that's my preference. But there's so many good charities out there, and I think all poker players should be proud that according to fundraiser.com, charity poker tournaments are the #1 way in the country now to raise money for worthwhile charities. I think that's great.
Also, you know, we do an event for CHOPS, which is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. We love that place.
Yeah, our good buddy Dan Shack put that tournament together. Very successful, very fun.
I think we're going to get involved with Wounded Warriors as well. We really respect that site and that charity as well. So.
All right. Got you guys going over to the Bounty Tournament. So.
Excellent. Great talking, everyone.
Okay, we're heading over to the Bounty Tournament. Hope to see you over there on clubwpt.com. But thanks for tuning in, and next time we do this, you can throw us a little more hardballs. We'll be ready for it. Thank you.
You'll be back on here, too. We'll be watching your table if you might tell them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're going to watch us play here. You'll really be able to type in and chat funny things in because you'll say, how did these guys ever get that job as bad as they play? No, seriously, come watch. We'll have fun.